Hey, it's Robert from the Today Christian, and there's something that I wanted to talk about a little bit, sort of my own thoughts, and as well as just maybe offering some of my own insight. Uh, Something that I've been seeing a lot and hearing a lot from other Christians around me is this very eager, very staunch determination to declare involving anything with witchcraft as evil. Now, hear me out for a second. Hang on. Don't go away. Don't go away. What I mean by that is, like you can't watch Harry Potter. Like, you shouldn't watch anything with magic. You shouldn't play anything with magic. That sort of thing. And so it's just this idea that anything to do with magic is absolutely and unequivocally evil and will basically drag your soul to hell. Look, first of all, I'm going to say this. If that's the way you feel, if that's your conviction, then stick with it. Absolutely. Go ahead and stick with it. You don't have to explain your convictions that you believe that God is working and convicting you of in your heart to stay away from. That's a personal conviction. There are personal convictions that are right for you and maybe some other people, but not necessarily everyone else. All right, so you need to understand on your part, if that's your conviction, that is just yours, and that's okay, and that's good. And it's good that you follow that. But you've also got to understand that when what somebody does is not in direct contradiction to the Word of God, then there is an openness, there's a freedom that that person is allowed to exercise under the grace of God. And that needs to be okay with you. Right? You don't have to understand it. You don't have to share that that viewpoint, but you going around and telling someone that something is evil and they shouldn't take part in it just because you have a specific conviction about it will only help to harm that person's faith and potentially your own. Now let me go to the other side of that. All right. Let's just take me, for example. All right. I watch Harry Potter. I've read the books. Like it or not, I have let my older child read the books and watch the movies. So now, if you're staunchly against that, you're probably freaking out a little bit right now, and I understand that. All right. Now, absolutely, let me say this as well. Absolutely, that we as Christians are never to take direct part in witchcraft, in divination. These things are blatantly wrong for a Christian to take part in, because those things are not of God, and nor do they use God's power to perform those certain things or to try to tap into that type of power. Those are satanic. That is, witches and witchcraft, whether they know it or not, are trying to tap into satanic powers, which are a real thing. And we need to understand that. We need to be aware of that, and we need to stay away from that and taking part in it. Now, you're probably saying, well, if you're watching things with that in it, you are thereby taking part in it. No. Now, for me, I have a line. There's a line where it gets to be, if this is like real witchcraft and there's like sacrificing living things, even in depictions, I stay away from that. That's kind of where my line is. But me, I understand where the line between reality and taking part in something like that is, and where fiction is. fiction is a real thing, okay? In the concept of being fiction. If something's fiction, it's not real. Nor will I be tricked into thinking that it is, and nor do I let our children, let my oldest child, get tricked into thinking that that's real. We tell them, but like this is not, like, you can't do that. Like, real witchcraft is bad. Should never do it. This is pretend. Okay, this is pretend. It's not real. You need to know the difference. And that it's so important to be able to understand whether you're participating in certain types of entertainment or not, to understand the difference between reality and fiction. And you need to have your heart guarded against those types of things. And one of the arguments that people will probably bring up is, well, you need to, like, why even play with it, right? Why even play with fire? You're going to get burnt, type of thing. Okay? And I get that to a degree. However, some of this stuff you're just never going to completely escape. And when you're firmly seated in the Lord, and when you know what's good and right, and what is, and you're so confident in God's guidance that there's nothing that Satan can really bring forward to you that is gonna lead you astray when it comes to this type of thing, like witchcraft but again, this isn't really witchcraft. This is just pretend, make-believe stuff. And so anyways, but when you're at that point, and when you're being a responsible parent and telling your children, hey, you need to make sure that you understand that this is fake, you don't have anything to worry about. Now, there are some kids who will be misguided in that sort of thing, and maybe they're not mature enough to handle that kind of thing, and that's okay. You can absolutely, you don't have to feel bad about keeping your kids away from that type of thing if they're susceptible to thinking this fictional stuff is reality. There are some people out there who will watch nothing but G-rated movies. That's okay. But even if you're watching a PG-13 movie, sometimes in PG, and maybe a character dies or gets killed or something, that's still right in the line of knowing the difference between reality and fiction. That you don't go around, even in cartoons, right? You don't go around hitting somebody with a shovel, even though Bugs Bunny did it to Daffy Duck. There's still that element of just having to know the difference. And this applies to a lot of things. There's so many Christians out there who will just beat other Christians over the head about having to stay away from certain things because having anything to do with it is going to automatically drag your soul to hell, it's just like, if you're listening to this and you're one of those people, like, I love you, but you've got to understand that's sort of ridiculous. Again, if you have those convictions for yourself, keep them. That's fine. But just mature in your faith to the point where you understand that if somebody's not going to be led astray by something that is permissible under the grace of God, that you need to trust them to some degree. Yeah, you can watch them, and if you see them start to slip, sure, address it. But that's between them and God. That's not really any of your business, and nor is it your responsibility to advocate for abstaining from anything to do with things like that. So anyways, that's sort of my own rant for this type of thing, and it's not really a rant either, but I want Christians out there to be educated and to welcome in wisdom into their lives, so that, one, your own faith isn't getting hurt when you see somebody doing something that you don't approve of, and two, just so that you have that opportunity to mature in your faith, to really understand how the grace of God and how Him guarding your heart plays a role in how you interact with different parts of the world. This applies to far more than magic and entertainment. All right, so look, if you don't believe me, go read Romans 14. It has a lot to do with this type of thing. That'll really kind of open your eyes as to how to deal with some of these situations as a Christian. So anyways, that's all I have for now. I am done ranting, I am done raving, and I will see you in the next one.